for vandalizing pipelines. In a related development, a suspect has also been arrested in connection with the attacks on Shell Petroleum Development Company SPDC 48 MCH crude pipeline onshore Forcados. The commander assured the general public that the Nigerian Navy is resolute in curbing criminal activities in the nation's maritime environment and at the same time providing a safe environment for legitimate businesses to thrive. The proposed indefinite strike by the National Association of Resident Doctors (NARD), scheduled to commence today, June 9, 2016, has been suspended for 1 week. This followed a meeting between the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Yakubu Dogara, and the association, in which he impressed on it to allow the House intervene in the matter. According to a statement issued by his spokesman, Turaki Hassan, in Abuja, the suspension came after a meeting between the executive members of the association, Dogara, and chairman of relevant House committees in his office. Speaking to them, Honorable Dogara asked the resident doctors to grant the House 1 week to meet with the ministers so as to come up with ways to address the lingering grievances. He noted that democracy is about the well-being of the citizens and appealed to the association to understand that the country is presently going through challenges. And moving on to some business stories. The continuing pressure on the Naira rose sharply on Wednesday, with the local currency tumbling to a new low of 371 Naira against the United States dollar at the parallel market. The delay by the Central Bank of Nigeria in explaining how the proposed flexible exchange policy will work has increased speculations on the currency. Foreign exchange dealers and investors said the delay had caused uncertainty in the foreign exchange market and fueled hoarding of hard currencies. According to foreign exchange dealers at black markets in Lagos, Abuja, and major airports across the country, the dollar was sold for between 367 Naira and 373 Naira on Wednesday. Findings from various operators revealed that the local currency went for 371 Naira against the greenback in most of the parallel market locations. However, the currency traded at 199 Naira 40 kobo to the dollar on the official interbank market within the CBN's pegged rate band. Economic analysts said heightened political risks evolving economic crisis and the CBN's delay in unveiling its blueprint on the proposed forex policy were responsible for the fast depreciating rate of the Naira at the parallel market. The Naira had closed at 357 Naira against the greenback on Monday, before crashing to 361 Naira on Tuesday.
Studio.
An Islamist group said militants stormed into a base in Ethiopia. This and more after the break. Stay tuned.
Hello, I'm Shegun Mana, and we believe that entrepreneurship is something we must develop in Africa and indeed the developing economies of the world. That is why we have this program called Let's Talk Business on this station. We want you to watch because we sit down with entrepreneurs and they encourage you on how to develop your own entrepreneurship business. Keep watching Let's Talk Business on this station.
Let's Talk Business, showing on the station.
Glad to have you back. If you just tuned in, this is the African Broadcasting Network News, reaching you live from Warri, Nigeria. And moving on to other stories, Al-Shabaab militants stormed into a base used by Ethiopian troops in the latest assault on soldiers serving with the African Union in Somalia. The group said it rammed a suicide car bomb into the entrance of the Hagan base before exchanging fire with the Ethiopian soldiers. It said it had killed 43 soldiers, but a spokesman for the African Union force gave no immediate comment. The residents said they heard the explosion at the base and a heavy exchange of gunfire shortly before dawn. The group often launches gun and bomb attacks on officials, Somali security forces and AMISOM, in a bid to topple the Western-backed government and impose its own strict interpretation of Islam on Somalia. In January, Kenyan troops serving with AMISOM suffered heavy losses when Al-Shabaab made a dawn raid on their camp in El Ade near the Kenyan border. United Nations says about 100 people was kidnapped during an attack in the troubled Northeastern Democratic Republic of Congo by suspected Ugandan rebels. The United Nations Stabilization Mission in DR Congo, MONUSCO spokesman Colonel Martin Amozo Kojo said on Wednesday that members of Lord's Resistance Army (LRA) conducted the civilians during an assault on two villages during the attack in Base Uel province on June the 4th. The spokesman also strongly denounced the regular atrocities commanded by the ruthless LRA against civilians in the northeast of the African country. Ugandan, Congolese and South Sudanese troops have set up a joint force to hunt the rebels in the dense forest area bordering the three countries. The International Criminal Court has also issued arrest warrants for Kony and other top leaders of the LRA on charges of war crimes and anti-human crimes. Kony remains elusive after a decade-long manhunt. According to the United Nations, the LRA has killed more than 100,000 people and kidnapped more than 60,000 children, forcing many of them to become child soldiers. In Japan, the country has summoned China's ambassador to protest an alleged violation of what Tokyo regards as its territorial waters after a Chinese Navy ship sailed close to disputed islands in East China Sea for the first time. According to Japan's foreign ministry, the Chinese naval vessel entered waters surrounding Senkaku around 1550 GMT on Wednesday, as the Japanese Defense Ministry said later that the Chinese frigate had left the waters and sailed to the north. The ministry said Japan's Vice Foreign Minister Akitaka Saike summoned the Chinese ambassador in Tokyo, Cheng Yonghua, to express grave concerns and urged the Chinese ship to immediately leave the area. A Japanese Defense Ministry official said that 3 Russian military vessels had been seen in the waters around the disputed islands at around the same time. The official said an investigation was underway to see whether the Chinese and Russian moves were in any way related. And that's it on foreign stories. We move over to our sports news. President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday said Nigerian football would no longer remain the same with the death of a former coach of the Super Eagles, Stephen Okechukwu Keshi. President Buhari stated this in a post on his official Twitter handle, where he said Nigerians would miss the deceased because he gave his all for the country. He said with Keshi's death, Nigeria had lost a great sportsman, football player and coach, as well as a citizen. Also, former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, under whom former Super Eagles keeper and manager won the 2013 Nations Cup for Nigeria, has described the late football star as an inspirational figure, a great patriot and worthy ambassador for Nigeria. Jonathan, who stated this in a tribute to the football icon, also described Keshi as a dedicated and inspirational sportsman who led his nation to win the prestigious Continental Football Trophy at great moments, both as captain and as a coach. FIFA, CAF, Ghana and other African nations has also sent their condolences for Keshi. And moving on to other sports stories, Cristiano Ronaldo has been listed as the highest paid athlete in the world by American business magazine Forbes, according to reports. The Real Madrid forward is the first footballer to ever top the annual lists of the world's 100 highest paid athletes, having earned $88 million. In the last 12 months, $6.6 million more than Barcelona's Lionel Messi, who is second. There are 5 Britons in the top 100, led by Lewis Hamilton in 11th on $46 million, with Rory McIlroy at 17 with $42.6 million. Gareth Bale of Real Madrid is at number 25 with $35.9 million, while Wayne Rooney of Manchester United sits at number 49 with $26.1 million. Andy Murray, a British tennis star, is also occupying the number 74th position with $23 million. Endorsements make up £32 million of Ronaldo's earnings, and this is the first year since year 2000 that someone other than Tiger Woods and Floyd Mayweather has led the way. Mayweather is number 16, one place above McIlroy, who added $7.6 million winnings to his $35 million worth of endorsements. There are only two women on the list, Serena Williams making $28.9 million at number 40, and Maria Sharapova sitting at number 88 with $21.9 million. Maria Sharapova has been banned for 2 years by the International Tennis Federation for using a prohibited drug. The Russian was provisionally banned in March after testing positive for meldonium at January's Australian Open. The heart disease drug, which the 29-year-old Sharapova says she has been taking since 2006 for health issues, became a banned substance on the 1st of January this year. The 5-time Grand Slam winner said she cannot accept the unfairly harsh ban and will appeal. Sharapova will challenge the suspension, which is backdated to 26 January 2016 at the Court of Arbitration for Sport. In a statement, she said the tribunal concluded her offense was unintentional and that she had not tried to use a performance-enhancing substance. The tribunal ruling said Sharapova tested positive for meldonium in an out-of-competition test on 2nd February, as well as in the aftermath of her Australian Open quarterfinal defeat by Serena Williams on the 26th of January. It treated both results as a single anti-doping violation, and the ITF will not appeal against the tribunal's decision. However, the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, said it would review the decision, including its reasoning, and decide whether to appeal. And still in tennis, Rafael Nadal's uncle Tony says there is no timetable for his nephew's return, putting his participation at Wimbledon in question. The former world number 1 was forced to pull out of the French Open, an event he had won 9 times after 2 rounds when he suffered a wrist injury. Nadal's rehabilitation has begun, but the all-important return to tournament action is yet to be decided, with less than 3 weeks until Wimbledon begins. Wimbledon, the 3rd Grand Slam event of the season, starts on June the 27th, with the current world number 1 Novak Djokovic looking to add to his Australian and French Open titles. The Olympic Games tennis tournament gets underway on hard courts in Rio de Janeiro also on August the 4th, 2016. And with that sports story on Rafael Nadal, we come to the end of our bulletin. But before we go, a quick look at the headlines. Governor Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State last week paid an inspection visit to the field portions of the Warri-Sapele Highway, where the reconstruction is currently going on. We also told you that Al-Shabaab militants stormed into a base used by Ethiopian troops in the latest assault on Soldiers 7 with the African Union in Somalia. We also brought you a story that Japan has summoned China's ambassador to protest an alleged violation of what Tokyo regards as its territorial waters after a Chinese naval ship sailed close to disputed islands in East China Sea for the first time. Thanks for staying with us on African Broadcasting Network News. I am Temi Apirene. Stay tuned for more programs on ABN. Bye for now.